Welcome to the second episode of Starcraft Pulse, a weekly show dedicated to the development, evolution and hopefully expansion of the South African Starcraft 2 community. I'd like to thank everyone out there that watched the show, subscribed or commented for all the support they've shown thus far. I can't do it without you guys. But as you know, time is money, friend, so let's get started. As a lot of you have probably realized by now, the current phase of the beta has been extended till the 7th of June. See more about that and the official announcement in the links below. On the 26th of May it was announced that Blizzard Entertainment and Gretek Corp made a partnership agreement which would see Gretek's popular internet streaming service, GOM TV, gain exclusive rights to broadcasting esports matches of Blizzard games in Korea. This will include Starcraft 2, Brood Wars, Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft matches, along with any expansion packs to be released for these titles. Frank Pierce of Blizzard Entertainment recently had an interview with INC Gamers to discuss Blizzard's strategy regarding Starcraft 2, Battle.net, and future projects we'll be hearing more about at BlizzCon this year. It was a pretty informative interview and definitely worth checking out if you're interested in Blizzard's plans for the future. Now for a quick roundup of international tournaments that happened over the past week. The Terran player Morrow won the Inferno Online launch event and the 19th Go for SC2 competition. Another Terran player, Satini, won the Starcraft 2 Zotac Cup 13. You can find links to the tournaments as well as full replay packs below. Just a quick mention that the popular latency reducing program BattlePing is no longer needed for Starcraft 2. With the addition of UDP in patch 13, it seems like the game is smooth and perfectly playable without it. For all those aspiring map makers out there, there's a great site for you all to visit to learn the tricks of the trade or just browse a ton of maps that others have made. Check out SC2 Mapster in the links below for TDs, first person shooters and even Dota. All made in the Starcraft 2 Galaxy editor. That's it for international news. Let's check out the local side of things. This past week we saw the conclusion of the Ultralisk League. On Thursday night we saw Chase, Angry African, Kreeflever and Mouse duke it out for the coveted title. Mouse proved to be on form on the day by besting Angry African in the finals with a score of 3-1. The All Pew Pew No QQ tournament that was meant to take place over this past weekend was cancelled due to lack of sign-ups. In its wake came the FPPQQ tournament that was hosted by South Africa's very own Matthew Fluke Merks. We saw some great games being played and the finals between Dreamer and Chase were absolutely incredible. Chase managed to take it with a score of 3-2, walking away with a prize money of 1,500 Rand. Sunday, the 6th of May, will see the long-awaited return of the Fist. We may well be having a much larger challenger list for this Sunday's competition, as it is the last weekend of the beta and everyone needs their Starcraft 2 full. Be sure to keep checking the Fist page over at Miton for more information on that. Sadly, we don't have time for the player profile in this week's episode. We'll no doubt be having it next week, as there should be a lack of news once the beta is down. Now for the strategy segment of the show. This week we're going to be covering a counter for those pesky Reapers as Protoss. This will involve the Protoss player putting down an early gateway and cybernetics core, then boosting their first Stalker out in time to take down the Reapers. The game we'll be looking at to demonstrate this strategy is once again between two local players, Chase and McNoob. They are Protoss and Terran respectively. Alright, so we have Chase spawning at the bottom left as the green Protoss, and McNoob spawning top right as the purple Terran. Now in the strategy we are covering today, you would start as you would any game as Protoss. If your opponent is a notorious Reaper abuser, or you merely suspect he might use them, it's your safest bet using this build. You'll want to get out those first few probes until you get to about 9 supply, then put on your first pylon. After that, just build one more probe. You should be on 10 supply now, and don't use your chrono boost just yet. Wait on 10 supply till you have the 150 minerals you need to build your first gateway. Once you've placed your gateway, you can carry on with the probe production. Now is also a good time to use a chrono boost to get those probes out a little bit faster. When your gateway is about halfway, or you are on 12 or 13 supply, throw down your first assimilator. Once that's up, put 3 probes on it to get the gas coming in nice and fast. Your scout should be nearing your opponent's base now. Remember to keep an eye on that and your minimap. Use another chrono boost on your Nexus now if you like. Just remember to save a bit of energy for boosting your Zealot and your Stalkers when the time comes. By now you should have had a look at your opponent's base and confirmed your suspicions. If you don't see that barracks in his base, you'll know that the Reapers are most likely on their way. It's usually worth having a look around the rest of his base anyway, just to make sure. When your gateway is about to finish, stop probe production and get your cybernetics core down. When you get to about 16 supplies worth of probes, you'll want to start your first Zealot and put on your second pylon. Use some of that energy you've saved to chrono boost your first Zealot to get it out as fast as you can. As you can see in this game, McNoob is already putting a bunker down in Chase's base so he can protect the first Reaper that arrives. Should something like this happen to you, it's important not to panic, just carry on as you've practiced. When your first Zealot is out, you'll want to start production on your first Stalker as soon as you can. You'll want to chrono boost that one too. Your Zealot's main purpose is just to keep your opponent busy until you can get a Stalker out. As you can see, Chase is currently doing exactly that. As soon as your first Stalker is out, focus down any SCVs or Reapers in the area. If they are in bunkers, you'll have to go for those instead. It's important to know that a Stalker can outrange a Reaper in a bunker, so try keep it at max range. If the Reapers happen to target your pylons, be ready to replace them. If you find yourself with enough minerals and supply to carry on building those probes, it can only help having more. When your second Stalker comes out, you should be able to kill whatever the Terran player has in your base with ease. By now, if you have successfully fended off the Reaper harass, you should have a vast economic advantage over your opponent. Should your opponent still have Reapers left, remember to place your Stalkers strategically around your base to cut off any Reapers trying to make their way in. Remember to continuously watch your supply count and put on those pylons when needed. You should be in a good enough position to start pushing towards the Terran base, maybe even finding that proxy barracks. Think about getting a second or even third gateway down soon, as well as a second assimilator. As you can see, we're nearly 6 minutes into the game right now, and McNoob is only sitting on 260 income, whereas Chase is on 600. It's not looking good for McNoob. Now from here you've got a lot of choices as Protoss. After those gateways are down and converted to warp gates, you could start pushing, placing a proxy pylon around the middle of the map to keep those reinforcements coming. Soon after, it might be good to get a robotics facility down, and maybe a few immortals out. If you're feeling adventurous, you could even get a Stargate down and try get a few Void Rays out to do some harass of your own. It's all up to you from this point on. So there you have it. Be ready for those Reapers next time, guys, and check back here next week for more.
There hasn't been much happening in the rest of Blizzard's kingdom over the past week. Starting a couple of days ago in the World of Warcraft public test round, testers have had the opportunity to rise up to the challenge of the Operation Gnomeregan and Zalazan's Fall events. Blizzard is apparently looking for your feedback and participation on the PTR to make these both memorable events in Azeroth's history. You might want to avoid the video links to MMO Champion below if you don't like spoilers. That brings us to the end of today's episode. I just want to say a quick thanks to all the local and international sites that promoted the first episode of Starcraft Pulse. You know who you are. See you next week and happy Starcrafting.